Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I hope everybody is well. We're coming to you from the temple backyard. We have members of our congregation with us. We have our virtual congregation on YouTube. We have our cantor. We have Kevin. We have everybody. We have Maurice keeping us safe. We have everybody we need for our Shabbat service this morning. We're so happy you're with us. Kevin will begin now with the prelude. Service continues now with Ma Tovu, page 172 of the prayer book, Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Vani berov chastecha, Avu b'techa, Eshtachave elecha kodshecha be'yiratecha, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Adonai Avti, Me'on B'techa, Kom Mishkan Kivodecha, Mishkan Kivodecha, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs in a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofech Basar Umafli La'asot. We turn ahead in the prayer book now to page 194. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadah Shemei Rabbah, Yadimad Yifrach Elotei, Yamlich Malchutei, B'chai Echonu טוב יום אחד, ותקייד כל בית ישראל, בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. ימי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ירחמן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתעלה, שמי דקודשם. מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשביחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ויאמרו Amen.
We rise now for the Baruch, the call to worship.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We remain standing now on page 196. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer ha-me'orot. We will continue now with the Shema on page 200. We continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue
V'atavit Adonai Elohecha b'chol livadcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue on page 202. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them that each generation on the corner of their clothes, and place a blue cord on the corner fringe. When this fringe catches your eye, you will remember all the mitzvot of the Eternal and do them, and not follow after your heart and your eyes, which draw you astray. That you may remember and do all my mitzvot, and be consecrated to your God. I am Adonai, who bore you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. I am your God." Our service continues on page 204 with Chamocha.
Mi chamocha b'nim Adonai, mi chamocha nedon b'kodesh, nora tahilot osefele, shira chadasha shibechu geolim, l'shimcha sifat Kaya Yachad Kolam Hodu Vahim Lechu Le'amenu Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Vaed. Tzor Yisrael Como Be'ezrat Yisrael ופדך אלומך ודבי ישראל גאלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We rise now as we continue with the Tefillah, page 205.
Adonai sifata tiftach ufi gitecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibur V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מקיים Rav Loshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim V'Chesed Mechaye HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim Umatir Asurim Kayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michocha V'Gilrot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechaya Umatzmeach Yeshua V'Ne'eman Ata Lehachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Michaye HaKol. Nikadesh et Shimcha ba'olam Kishem Shema Kishim Oto B'Shmei Maran Kakatuv al Yad Neviyecha V'Kara Zeh V'Ramad Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Melech Haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu Lakeinu, hu Moshienu v'hu Yashmienu, Merachamav l'nei kochai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Zion, le'avadon, Hallelujah. L'ador vador, nakid God lecha, Ulenetzach nitzakim, v'dushatcha nakdish, v'shivracha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush, le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please be seated.
Our service continues now with Yismechu, page 211, and that will be followed by an extended moment of silent prayer.
Yismechu v'malechotecha Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechotecha Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Oneg Shabbat. Mikadeshem Shevi Shabbat, Kolom Yisveu, V'yitangu mitu v'kasha, Yismechu v'malechotecha, Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechotecha, Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi, Ratzita bo v'kineto Shabbat, Kemdat yamim otokorata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechotecha, Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Oneg Shabbat. ישמחו למלכותך, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. יהיו לרצון ימרחי וגיור ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי Adonai, Suri, Vegoali, Vegoali.
Thank you, Cantor and Kevin. We will continue now with our Torah service. That may be found on page 244 of the prayer book. We'll continue with Ein Kamocha, page 244.
Ein Kamocha Elohim Adonai, V'ein K'masecha, Malchutecha Malchut Kol Olamim, U'Memshatecha B'chodor V'ador. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Va'ed, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitin, Adonai Yivarech et Amo V'Shalom.
Please rise for Av HaRachamim.
Avarach Hetiva Betzonecha et Zion Tivne Chomot Yerushalayim Tivne Chomot Yerushalayim Kivechom Livot Batachnu Melech Eram V'Nisa Adon Olamim.
Continue on page 246, Ki Mitzion.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני לירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדול ראיתי, ורמה שמו יחדיו, לך אדוני הגדולה והגיבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, והמעשה לך לראש.
You may be seated. The Torah portion this week is Ki Tavo from the book of Deuteronomy. We're approaching the end of the Torah, getting closer to, of course, Rosh Hashanah and Simchat Torah, when we will begin the Torah reading once again at the beginning. Moses continues the recitation of the law of the Israelites. Hold on a second. Wind hazard. Moses continues to recite the laws for the Israelites before they enter the promised land. This section of the Torah begins this portion with a well-known verse, Arami Oved Avi. My father was a fugitive Aramean. This phrase comes from, anybody recognize where? I bet Fred knows. The Haggadah, from the Haggadah from Pesach, from Passover. Right, correct. The Magid, the telling section, the retelling. This paragraph tells our entire Jewish history, Exodus, receiving the Torah, and entering the promised land. This section actually also had an important role in Jewish worship. The Torah portion says that when they settle the land and harvest your crops, you gather the first fruits of the harvest. You bring them to the priest in the temple in Jerusalem. He places them on the altar, and then you recite this paragraph, Arami Oved Avi. You are giving some of your crops to acknowledge and thank God for its bounty. The Torah portion also contained another ritual that the Israelites were to perform when they entered the promised land. 6 of the tribes stood on one mountain, Gerizim, the mountain of blessing, and 6 tribes stood on Mount Ebal, the mountain of curses. Then the Levites proclaimed the curses and blessings to all the people. Now, you'll note, by the way, that if you take a good look at this section, there are 12 curses and only 4 blessings. 12 curses and 4 blessings. Anyone want to speculate on why that might be? Well, I'll tell you, it's because often we need more of the thou shalt nots as opposed to the thou shouts, part of human nature. There are 613 commandments in the Torah as a whole, and I believe 365 are negative and 248 are positive. So we, of course, need that stick sometimes as much as we need the carrot. However, one comment also about this portion is, why do they use the language of blessing and curse? Does this imply that God will curse us or make our lives be cursed? And Rabbi Abraham Joshua Hessel disagrees. He teaches that it is not that we are literally blessed or cursed by God for our actions. Rather, we bring curses and hurt into the world with misdeeds, and we bring blessing and joy with our good deeds. Rabbi Heschel reminds us that our actions are of supreme importance. So now, Kant will chant the beginning of the Torah portion for us. This morning, we're going to do a backyard and virtual aliyah this morning. So I'm going to invite everyone who's here with me today to join in the Aliyah. I'm going to invite all of you who are joining us on YouTube to join with the Aliyah. And Cantor will be offering the response line. So let us join together in offering the Torah blessings. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
V'haya ki tavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha ala v'rishta v'yashavta ba v'lakachta mereshit kol peri ha'adama asher tavi me'artecha Asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach v'samta v'atena v'halita el hamakom asher Adonai Elohecha v'shaken shemo sham uvata el hakohen asher yeh bayamim hahem Yamarta elav, higadati hayom, ladonai Elohecha, kivati el haaretz, asher nishma Adonai, la'avotenu, la'ted lanu, v'lakach hakohen, hatena miyadecha, v'hinicho, Lifnei Mizbach Adonai Elohecha V'anita v'amarta Lifnei Adonai Elohecha Aromi Oved Avi Vayered Mitzrayma Vayagar Sham Bimte Me'at Vayisham Lagoy Gadol Atzum Varav Vayarei Otanu Hamitzrim Va'anunu Vayiten Aleinu Avodah Kasha Vanitzak El Adonai Elohei Avotenu Vayishma Adonai et kolei vayar et aninenu v'et amalenu v'et lachatzenu.
Let us join together now in the blessing after the Torah reading. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai Noten Torah. Amen. Yasher koach. Thank you, Cantor, for our Torah reading this morning. I'll invite you to rise now as we give honor to the Torah scroll.
Listen Torah shesa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai ad Moshe. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Our service continues now with Eitz Chaim, page 256. Eitz Chaim.
Eitz Chaim hi lemachzikim ba v'tamecha מאושר דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובו חדש ימינו כקדם.
Our service continues now with the Aleinu prayer, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתתולם יוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ואומרים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בקעתם נעים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו נפש זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממה, מעל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני המלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn now to page 294 in the prayer book. As we prepare to recite the Kaddish prayer, we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Please rise now as we recall our loved ones, and we join in reciting the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabah, v'yamat tivrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'amen. Amen. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'roma, Yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, oyase shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru. Amen.
Thank you, Cantor and Kevin, for our beautiful music this morning. I want to say thank you to Andy for checking. Wish Andy and Rosalie and Ricky a mazel tov on the wedding that's happening this evening for Andy and Rosalie's son. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Very pleased you're all with us this morning as we heard the Torah chanted and we celebrated Shabbat together. So let us conclude now with Adon Olam, page 321, followed by the Bore Motzi.
Adon Olam, Hashem Olach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nifra, Yet Nasab, Nefes HaKol, Hasai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Tiklot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nala Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, Ve'en Sheni, V'hamshilo Lehakbira Adon Olam, V'li Reshit, V'li Yitzhak, V'lo Oznam Isra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzor Kavli B'yitzora Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, U'manosli, V'nokal Si B'yom Nekra Adon Olam, Biyado, Apid Ruchi, B'yitishan V'ya'ira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi, V'biyati, Adonai Litino V'ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'yet Nasah, Kol Hasai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Borei Peri Hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Hamotzi Lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I want to ask everybody one question. Just stick around for a second. Shabbat Shalom.